That's ridiculous.
Right.
All right, today is April 1st. We are in Jacksonville. We left home yesterday morning. What time we leave?
It's probably about 7:30.
Yeah, so we drove down to Jacksonville. We about 15 minutes from the port. So about 15, 20 minutes from the port at a super nice microtel inn that smells like mold. So
It's great.
yeah, it's not great
It's
at
great.
all.
People were moving chairs.
All night long. Musical chairs on the third floor all night long.
Yeah.
So
Somebody turned their alarm on, but decided they didn't want to listen to it, so it went on for about an hour.
Yeah, that was nice. So we're gonna board at like 11ish. Yep. So we board on the ship at 11ish, and obviously this is our first cruise. So I hope my wife don't be sick and puking the whole trip.
Probably be him.
No, it's not gonna be me. I hope it's not gonna be me.
You're gonna eat those words.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. So it's the Carnival Elation. It's the smallest ship in the fleet, but my wife got a super good price on the tickets, so we hope it's going.
We have an interior room, which is fine with me because I don't know if I want to see any water just yet. So.
Yeah. So in a little while we are going to be at the ship, so we'll bring you back then, and we'll hopefully we can get some video of boarding and all of that jazz, because again this is our first time. So hang loose, and when we get to the ship we'll bring you back. So we got on the ship. The check-in was an absolute nightmare, so I didn't get to film any of that stuff. But we got on, and we got our cabin deal, all that, and they got our stuff in the cabin. So we up on the very top deck, and I'll spin you around and show you the pool and all of that stuff. So it's a pretty small pool, just from what I've seen, pictures of other ships. And then obviously we hadn't left yet, so we're still at the port. And that's all. I'll go over on the other side and I'll show you what the parking lot and all that at the port looks like. I mean, it's a pretty short trip from the actual parking area into the terminal, but inside the terminal took a while, so you can see the parking lot. And I mean, literally you come in like right down here. So and there's my wife. And we're gonna go check out the pool here in a little bit, I think. What time is it now, Alicia? 2:04. We're supposed to leave. What time? 3 or 3:30. So we're supposed to depart at 3 or 3:30. But it's been good so far. We went and got something to eat, and found out that the iced tea is not sweet tea. It's just iced tea. So that's a real problem. Once we get underway, or they do this departing party deal, we'll pick back up there. Yep, they're starting to pull in the lines. They done got one of them off the back. We at the rear of the ship, so I think we're gonna stay back here at the rear and just watch it go out from the rear. We on the Serenity deck, they call it, so it's a little less, party time. It might be a little easier. I don't particularly care about all that party stuff anyway, so. We're pushing off from the dock right now. Man, that's some nasty water. No, it's just nasty water. Brackish. That is brackish water right there. Are you always this ornery? I got 5 and put up with this for 5 days. Don't what me? Just saying.
We didn't get on that top.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the way up there. The walkway. Yeah, that's how we come in. Yeah, when you come out of that big old building right there, you got a board and you got to go up that whole walkway system, and it's like 4 levels or 5 levels. And when you get up there to the top, it's like you done run a marathon. Yeah, pack light for sure. That's what my wife said, pack light. Then we give our 2 suitcases to the porters, but we still had like a book bag apiece and then a little bag cooler with like 2 12-packs of drinks in them. Yeah, so it was still pretty daggum heavy. Oh yeah, so they're gonna turn around right here. So we're at the back of the ship, so they're gonna spin this thing 180 degrees, and then we're gonna head out. That's what they're doing now. So we're gonna go under that bridge over there in a minute once they get this thing turned around and head out. But they swinging her around. So there's the bridge. We're about to go under it. Yeah, they got us moving pretty good now.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
There's some of the port, shipping containers and all that kind of jazz. Oh, they got a couple of ships in port right now, fixing to unload. Yeah, they are unloading one. You'll see it here in a second. Man, that's a lot of shipping containers. How many thousands do you think that is? That's a little small cargo ship right there, and then on past here is a lot bigger one. I mean, it's still a small one compared, but it's a lot bigger than that one. That was probably a, I don't know, medium-sized ship, just from what I've seen. So it looks like we're about out of the tight spot in the port, but looking at it on the map, this channel before it leads out to the ocean is pretty long. So it's going to take a minute to get out of here into open water. I don't know how long, but it's going to take a while. So I don't think there's anything else super interesting, but if they are, I'll try to get some footage. Oh, he's fixing to pick one right now, it looks like. Let's see if we can.
Daniel and Michael are going to the house to swim. So they're going to check the level of the pool, and they'll let us know. He's going to take a picture of the intake. Well, then he needs to put water in it. He said he would do it.
Oh, he's putting, I guess that's a floor or something that they sit on. He's setting it back down, and then, I don't know, the holding fixture, I guess.
What thing?
Crane.
We made it to dinner. It's busy in here. I don't know what the food's going to be like, but the menu don't look real promising. Unless you're kind of fancy folks, then maybe it's all right. You fancy, ain't you? You like fancy food?
But I will eat food.
Right. We'll let you see what the food looks like when it comes out. So we pretty much out in open water now. I can't see no land nowhere. We done finished supper. It was super crowded and we was at a table with other people, so I couldn't really do a whole lot of recording. Man, that's a whole lot of nothing but water. And the deck's empty. Nobody out here but me and the old lady. So we fixing to tuck it in for the night. We pretty tired. It's been a long trip, so we'll get some more stuff tomorrow. All right, so it's day 2. We definitely out in open water. I think we are, you know, cause the ship's path is kind of parallel to Florida. So I don't think we're quite at Miami yet. Close, but I don't think we're quite at Miami. The sea is real calm, but up here I'm on the top deck at the back, and man, the wind is just, it's like a lot of wind. But as far as the sea is, I mean, the ship's pretty stable. I felt a little bit, I went to the gym this morning, and in the gym, like when you was just sitting on a machine between reps, you could feel the ship moving, and it was kind of weird feeling, because again, this is our first cruise, you know, and that was a little weird and kind of, I ain't gonna say it made me feel nauseous, but like unbalanced, or kind of like an inner ear issue or something maybe. But anyway, breakfast was just absolute insanity. I mean, there was huge lines and just millions of people, so I wasn't even gonna try to do any filming in there. It was just such a mess. But up here on the rear deck, it's not a lot of people, so I figured I'd try to get some footage, especially of the sea and just around the boat. So let me spin you around here, and we'll just do a little visual. See my wife down there hiding. But yeah, all in all, it's been pretty good so far. I'm anxious to see what it's gonna be like when we get to Nassau. I don't know if we're gonna like really do anything other than go to the beach. I don't think we're planning on no kind of excursions or nothing yet anyway. We may do something, but you can tell like this, you know, I heard a bunch of people kind of dogging this ship. You can tell it's kind of, you know, it's old. It needs a real facelift, I think, you know, overall. But I mean, they keep it clean, and it's, you know, I mean, I don't see no problem, but I know a lot of people online, just because this is the smallest and maybe the oldest ship in their fleet, you know, a lot of people talk bad about it, but I ain't seen no real issue yet. Man, that's a lot of water. I mean, just all of that. It's just, we're back from lunch. They cleaned the room while we was gone. We are in deck 6, room U91, and they did the towel animal. So I'll show you the room, and then I'll show you their little towel deal. So it's not super small, but this is an interior cabin. But I mean, it's decent. 2 big closets. And you got a storage shelf over here, and it's 2 single beds to get 2 single mattresses together, but it's good. And There's our little towel animal. I guess that's supposed to be a dog. So that's what the room looks like, but it's good. It's been good so far, and the staff and all has been great. So this is the bathroom. I mean, it ain't small. It ain't small as I thought it would be, and the shower's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And they give you shampoo and shower gel. I'm assuming they all do that, but we brought our own stuff. But yeah, it's good. All right, so that's that for the room. So we made it into port this morning early. And this is just a view off the boat. Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna go around to the other side or off the front and get some more. Yeah. So that's a Royal Caribbean backing in beside us. And you can tell how much bigger that ship is than this one. Like, it's way taller. So here's a shot off the front of the boat. They just got it all lashed down. I can't believe ain't nobody else up here. I'm out on the front deck, the sun deck, I guess they call it. And there ain't but one other person up here, but it's still pretty early. That water show is blue. You probably can't see it so good on the camera as I can, but it's blue. I'll walk over here and look at this big old boat a little bit. There's my bride. Man, look at the size of that thing. Man, the wind's kicking up bad. Might blow my hat off. Whoop, there it went, there it went, there it went. Huh?
I'd move faster than that if I had kicked off your head.
Well, that's the best I can do. Now my wife's been mean to me this morning already. My hat blowed off. I'm not being a retard. 100% no retard. Man, them some big old ropes.
guys for the ship at the back.
All right, so we made it to Junkanoo Beach, but all of these chairs, you have to rent one. You can't just use it. Just a FYI. But the water's really pretty, but it's cold. It's still super cold. We got us a pirate ship coming into port. Today we came back in and got, you said a crab? It's a crab, I guess. Yeah, the towel animal today is a crab. This is the art gallery, we believe. It's on like deck 7. It's on deck 7. Oh yeah, these are for sale.
You bid on them.
And that one's 3D. That's pretty crazy. You might can't see it in the camera, but it's a 3-dimensional. I don't know how they done that. It almost looks embossed, like it was steel. Oh yeah, that's really good. Yep, it's kind of like 3D too. And that one's pretty fancy. It's Scrooby-Doo. Is there more up 300? Yeah, there's some pretty neat drawings. I got a little lighthouse, but I don't believe it's operational because I don't see no light and I don't see no doors on it either. So maybe it's just for show now. No, there ain't no light on it that I can see anyway. All right, so it's day 4, early in the morning, like before 7. We are at the island pretty much where Princess K's at, and but we hadn't dropped anchor yet. We're not super close. Let me turn you around. I don't know if you can see it or not because it's still a little hazy out here. And maybe you can see it, but we're not far from the island, and they letting up the Bahama flag now. I don't know exactly when they're gonna drop anchor. But the island's got, they call it Princess Cave because they rent that beach area, lease it, whatever, but the island's got a different name, but I don't remember what it is. But the sea has been super calm the whole entire trip. I mean, you almost couldn't even feel the boat move unless you just really try to concentrate on it. So that part's been good. But we're gonna get off in a little bit and go on the island, so we'll get some more video then. We just about missed sunrise. I mean, it's coming up fast. Right over the island. It was really foggy. And I mean, literally in 15 minutes, I mean, the fog's blowing away and there's the sun. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the island now. Yeah, I mean, the island is just right there. So we coming on in. And they got a pier. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pier. It goes way out. It's amazing how calm the water is. It's been like this the whole trip. I mean, it's just kind of gently rolling. I mean, nothing to amount to anything. So everybody got up early and went and formed a line to get on the ferry to go to the island. And we stood in line for almost an hour, and then they announced that the sea was too rough to transfer to the ferry, so they canceled going to Princess Cay. And it appears that they moving the ship. So I don't know what they're gonna do now. They didn't say, but they said we're not gonna get off. And this is what I was kind of looking forward to, because really Nassau ain't nothing but just like super touristy and people trying to sell you crap every 3 seconds. But I wanted to see Princess Cay, but it ain't gonna happen. So I don't know what they're gonna do now exactly. But it's super frustrating. Yeah, I mean, you can see all them beautiful beaches down through there. I mean, they everywhere. I see there's a big old sandbar right there that goes way out into the ocean, it appears. Man, I see like 10 nice beachy spots down through there. Yep, they swinging it around. All right, so I'll keep you updated once we figure out what they're gonna do. The sea is definitely active compared to what it was the rest of the time, because it was nowhere near like this. But I mean, it's still relatively smooth in the boat. I mean, you can feel it, but it ain't like violent or nothing. And we hadn't been seasick or nothing like that. We was really worried about that, but we hadn't had any trouble with that, so that's good. But I'll be glad to get back to port, and get off of this thing, and get home. All right, I'm gonna call it today. All right, so it's like 8:20. We got off the ship this morning. That was a catastrophe, but we got off early though, and we on the interstate on the way home. So I'm gonna let my wife tell you what she thinks about the trip.
Oh,
What do you
why you let me start first?
Well, I mean, I'm talking here.
Okay.
So, what do you think about the trip overall?
Overall decent, but I wouldn't do it again.
So,
We stopped in Nassau. Too touristy, overcrowded, very pushy. The people there that live there, they're just real pushy with trying to sell you beer, alcohol,
taxi rides,
beach chairs, scooters, things like that. I don't like the whole touristy area. Souvenirs were super expensive. So
like what was it, like $35 for a shirt? I mean, it was
For a sweatshirt.
it was insane.
So we got off the ship, I think, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning, and we stayed on the beach till 10:30 and went back to the ship and had lunch, and then went back off the ship to kind of look around for souvenirs and things like that, and it was just super expensive and crowded. And so we got back on early, and we were looking forward to debarking at Princess Cay the next day. So we were ready to go next day early that morning. The ferry, we anchor out in the middle of the ocean, and the ferry will come and get you and take you to the island, and the wind conditions were too rough and they couldn't safely get us on the ferry. So that was a whole day at sea, fun day at sea, which wasn't fun. The winds were rough.
Yeah, I showed them the conditions when that happened. I went up top and I filmed the water and all, and to us it didn't really look bad at all. But I mean, obviously we're not
trying to get on the ship to take us. So I mean, just going from one ship to another, it could have been dangerous. So I mean, they made the best call, but that doesn't mean that it's not disappointing, because we were looking forward to getting off the ship. So
what did you think about the food?
Food was okay. Sometimes they had better things than other. Guy's burger, I thought it was pretty good, but he didn't think it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a Wendy's cheeseburger to me. It tasted just like Wendy's to me. And like I say, and I told them, the workers, the employees at the Guy's burger deal, they were just super rude. I mean, they were just not friendly at all. And when you pay that kind of money to go on a cruise, you expect at least decent service. But when folks just won't even speak and they just hand you your food and just move on down the line, and you can tell that they absolutely hate their job, that's sort of a put off, especially when you pay for that experience.
And one of the biggest things too is a language barrier. There's so many nationalities that are on that ship, and if you need to know anything important, you have to find an American to help you, because if you ask someone who is not fluent in English.
It's super hard to understand.
And they don't understand you,
Nope.
and you can't understand them. And it's not me being mean or rude or anything like that. It's if you need information, you may not get the information you need at the time that you need it, because we were confused about what was happening when they decided that we weren't going to Princess Cay. We didn't know if they were going to take us back to Nassau or if we were going to depart somewhere else that was close. And so it's hard to understand on the intercom when they announce things. It's just too muffled, and then plus there's a heavy accent. You know, like we have an accent, but I mean, it was hard for us to understand them. So if you need to know valuable information, that's a tricky one. But back to the food. At 6 o'clock in the morning, they have continental breakfast, and at 7 a.m. they have the buffet. And buffet is hard-boiled eggs, eggs Benedict, sausage, ham, grits. You have your fresh fruit, and then like your pastries and things like that. And then they have like breakfast burritos, or you can get an omelet. The breakfast, I mean, it was okay. I mean, it was doable. Probably like hotel type food if you get up in the morning and go for breakfast.
Which is a disappointment to me when you're paying that kind of money to get hotel food. I mean.
And then at lunchtime, there's Guy's Burgers, there's burritos, there's pizza. The pizza is very disappointing.
Thinnest pizza I have ever seen in my life. I mean, literally, the crust is like a 1/16 of an inch thick. I mean, it is paper thin.
They offer, I think, like 6 different varieties of pizza. The only one that I seen was a pepperoni.
And I seen cheese sometimes, but that was the other thing, and I think I mentioned it. But you can't never get one because there's 35 people in line at all times, and then it's just an absolute nightmare because they run out. They just constantly are out of pizza, so you just have to wait and wait and wait, and it's just crazy.
And then at dinner, they have an elegant night, and they have different options. You have your appetizer, your entree, and then your dessert. Well, a lot of this food is not things that we're used to, so it was a little bit harder for us to find something that we actually like. So our go-to was sticking with either broiled beef sirloin or grilled chicken. They do have this molten chocolate cake that has like a chocolate sauce in the middle, and it's served with ice cream. That is really good. But
yep, super good.
You can choose to either do the buffet in the evening, or you can go to dinner and have your entree and so forth. But last night we chose not to go. I mean, they had some varieties of things. I didn't see anything that Daniel and I were going to eat last night, so we just went to the buffet, and it was pretty good last night. They had some fish and some chicken and things like that. He stuck with the basics of frozen yogurt for his dessert most of the time.
So I mean, that just sort of summarizes the trip. I mean, it was okay, but like I say, it was super disappointing that we couldn't get off on.
One thing though, with the when we didn't get off at Princess Cay, I didn't realize it. Well, a lot of people, if you booked an excursion and you weren't able to get off, you got your money refunded. Well, they charge you for port fees and taxes and things like that. And I thought that the port fees were just at Jacksonville. I didn't realize that it was for, wherever
each location.
Yeah, wherever we stopped at. So since we didn't get off of the ship at Princess Cay, they did give us back our port fees. So that was $25 a piece. So that was an unexpected, I guess, bonus to, not
at least we got something back.
Yeah, to get off the ship. But I will say, you can do a Sail and Sign account, which is where you attach your credit card or your debit card, and they put a $200 hold on your debit card while you're there, just to take care of any thing that might happen. But I didn't want to put our debit card on there, and we don't use a credit card, so I just added cash to our account. Right before we got on, you're allowed to add money, so I added $260, and we only spent $143 the whole time, and that was going to the candy shop that was on the ship, and we had a couple of drinks because we didn't get the drink package. Super expensive. I think it's like $900,000 for he and I. We're not big drinkers, so we didn't.
Yeah, it just wasn't economical. It didn't make any sense.
So we only spent $143.
Yeah, and whatever you don't spend, you can get it back. So she went last night and got that remaining balance back in cash. They give you cash back.
Yeah, they gave you cash back.
Yep. So she got the remaining balance in cash back last night before we got off this morning. So does that sum it up for you? You reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again either. Not, and again, anytime you go on these cruises, and I didn't realize it because again, this is our first time, but if there's any kind of weather condition and you sail to this destination and the weather condition is not permitting you to get off, then it's just tough. You don't get to go to that location. And if you take a cruise to go to a specific place and you get there and can't get off, then and to me the cruise ship is basically just like a hotel, and I don't care anything about staying in a hotel for a week and eating hotel food.
I mean, if you're going for the experience, to be with your family and have a relaxing trip, and you like getting dressed up and going to a fancy dinner every night, and I mean, they had all kinds of activities, and we just didn't participate in any of them just because we're just recluses when it comes to things like that. We don't want to be around a crowd of people. But they had a comedy show, they had bingo, they have a casino, they have a water slide, they had putt-putt, shuffleboard, and they have the pool, and then they have a deck that's just for adults. That's a jacuzzi. They have a smoking area. So, I mean, there's plenty to do on that ship. There just wasn't plenty to do for us on the ship.
Right,
so,
exactly.
You may go and you may love it, but for us, like he said, it was a floating hotel, and after a while you're just ready to leave the hotel, and unfortunately on a ship you can't leave. So
yep,
that was the only thing.
And I was surprised that we didn't see any, I figured we'd see like dolphins and sharks and whales or some kind of marine life, but I never seen anything.
But they do have excursions that you can pay for that stuff. You can pay to swim with the pigs or see dolphins or things like that. There's activities that you can pay for off the ship, but for a free sightseeing of any kind of sharks or sea turtles or dolphins or anything like that, we didn't see any of that. And we looked, we just didn't see any.
And the other thing is, again, if you pay for these excursions and you can't get off, I mean, they'll give you your money back, but again, you're not gonna get to do that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, I just wanted to document our first time and just put it out there. Maybe it'll help somebody else. But like I say, it was an interesting experience. And I think that one thing is, it's still early in the year, and it was cold up the top deck and at the pool area and stuff. I mean, it was just entirely too cold to be in the water.
And we didn't talk about getting on and off the ship. So we got our passports. Made it a little bit easier. I wouldn't say faster, but it made it easier.
Because you can do it with just your birth certificate.
Yeah, you can do it with your birth certificate and your driver's license. If you have children, you got to have everybody's birth certificate. If you're going on the honeymoon, you just got married, you have to show your proof of name change, your marriage license, all that stuff. So it's just a lot easier to have a passport. It's more expensive. You need the passport book, not the card, the book.
Yeah, the card's useless.
You need the book. So getting on, I mean, it probably took us about an hour from the port to actually getting on the ship, and that was including, you know, you have to go through.
Yeah, check all your
customs. You got to, you know,
check all your bags and all that junk.
You got to put your stuff through the X-ray machine. The dog's got to sniff your bags, and then you got to go to guest services and get your room card and add money to your account. If you're adding cash, you do that then. It's a little chaotic when you're ready to get off on the last day. They give you can choose what time you want to get off. Well, we chose 7:55 to 8:15. Well, there's a lot of people who are already, you know, seasoned cruisers, that they know the drill. So they knew to go down to a certain floor to get off early.
Get off early, right.
We didn't know that, but we kind of figured it out. So
yeah, we just followed them.
Yeah, getting off
was a lot faster than getting on.
Yeah, I mean, we waited about 45 minutes to get off, but it was a lot easier to get off, especially if you had your passport, because if you had your passport, they do face recognition. You go over there and you stand in front of a monitor, it takes your picture, and you're on your way. But
absolutely.
You have to show your birth certificate if you don't have that passport, and it's just a lot of extra things you have to carry with you, and you can choose to carry your luggage off the ship.
The luggage deal's the big deal.
And we chose to get off faster and have our luggage, because if you let, I guess they're called the porters, I don't know,
baggage handlers, whatever it is.
You set your baggage out the night before, they take it, and then you have to go find it when you get off the ship if you don't want to carry it off.
Right, so that's going to take a lot more time to go deal with. So if you just carry it with you, you can just get on to your car just so much faster.
But carrying, you want to give your baggage to them when you get on, and you tip them, you know, a couple of dollars, because you got to go up this huge ramp to get to the ship.
It's like four stories or something. You got to go way up a ramp, and it's a lot to haul luggage.
You want to give them the baggage in the beginning, but getting off the ship, going down the ramp,
no problem.
No problem.
No problem.
And when we got out of the car at the port, that first day to get on, they have shuttle service. So there was a lady that came around with
picked us up.
With the golf cart. So that wasn't bad. We didn't have to carry our luggage all the way to the port, because I mean there's some walking involved. But I mean, you know, like I say, you may like it. It wasn't for us, but I don't want to knock it or discourage people from going, because, you know, I think the right person could have a really good time. Daniel and I are just different people, and we just didn't enjoy it as much as somebody else would.
Nope. All right, so that's going to sum it up. Hopefully that helps, and we'll see you on the next one.